you want a better life? Let's make it real. This is a better life. From scars to stars, from pain to bulletproof. Teresa, better life. A better life with you. Talking news, pop culture life, love and scandal, heart to heart. Teresa, better life. Real is where the reset starts. No playing small. We rise, we fall. We laugh, we do it all. A better life is one brave call. Teresa, better life. Let's build a better life. Let's build a better life. A better life. Teresa, better life. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. We are here. It is a little bit late as far as letting you guys know, and I'll tell you why. Say hello in the chat. Please hit the thumbs up, hit the heart button next to the comments in the chat. Say hello. So, Candace is going on at 4:30. She's right on top of the time today. She is, or this week so far, she's going max. Did you guys see that, what her title is? Operation Epstein Fury. Epstein Fury. This will be very interesting. So the reason I was so last minute, you guys, I am not flying out to Utah on Friday. I am flying out on Thursday. So I was talking to, hi Peterson, or Peters. Hi, Fearlessly. Welcome in, everybody. I was saying I apologize for last minute and being late. I usually do at least try to let you guys know a half hour in advance at the very least. But hello, letters. What's going on? I've been completely off grid. Have you? Welcome in. Say hello. Hit the thumbs up. Please hit the chat heart next to the chat. Anyways. Yes, thank you, Fearlessly. Hi, Jads. Jads from Texas. Welcome in. Did you guys see my thumbnail? So I had planned on traveling to Utah on Friday to hit UVU. I'm wanting to go to Cowboy Smokehouse so that I can interview or try to interview. And nothing's planned, y'all. I've been wanting to go. I felt like it was perfect and right timing to go. And I had just happened to message Allie over on X. I don't know, Allie Files. I think that's her. Let me make sure. Yep, Allie Files. ALLEY Files, FILES. So I was telling her and asking her, hey, if you have any, if you have anything or anybody you want me to make contact with out there, let me know. And she told me, well, there's a hearing. Tyler Robinson is having a hearing on Friday. So the hearing is to see if they're going to try to keep out the media for certain things. So I don't have grandma's address. I need grandma's name, first, last name, at least. If I can get that part, I can probably go from there. I'm still on the hunt, on the search. If you guys are on Barron's Live, if you guys can hit him in the chat, I'm going to try to catch his show today to give a super chat, and hopefully he'll see it and I can get word to him. I need Tyler Robinson's grandma's name, first and last. So I want to track down at least the neighborhood. Hopefully, maybe I could get that information when I go to Sandwich. Hello, Jay Anthony. You sent me an email, been busy. Yeah, you were busy. So I still have your product waiting for you. But so anyways, Allie says to me that it would be cool if I could go to the hearing. And I'm like, what the heck? I didn't even know there was a hearing. Now I have, so far I've got all the information for the hearing. It's Friday at 10 a.m. Originally, my flight was going to arrive in Salt Lake City at 1 p.m. something on Friday. So I've been scrambling to change my flight, to get hotel, to get a car rental. That's been on, and now I'm scrambling to get everything ready. I'm a last minute packer planner anyway. Oh my gosh, you're amazing. Thank you. I'm gonna take a picture of this because I want to make sure to not lose it. Thank you. You're amazing. That's so sweet. Okay. So I changed my flight. There was no exchange fee for changing the flight time. So it didn't cost me any more money, which I'm like, yes, good. But let me share this tab. So I'll be flying out on Thursday. Most likely I won't do a live tomorrow. I'll be getting my equipment and packing. It takes me a bit. I'm a little bit scatterbrained, you guys. Sometimes there's certain things I'm like right on it, but there's other things like I'm like, what do I take? What do I do? So let me share this with you and let's take a look. Let's take a look at what this says. Let me get this out of here. Guys, I want to not accept. I just don't want all these pop-ups. Why? Why do we have to have these pop-ups? So anyways, Tyler Robinson's wants private hearing to discuss banning cameras, microphones in court. So I know this one that the hearing that is happening on Friday morning, which I'll be able to go to, yes, is going to be to ban certain disclosures and all of that. They don't want us to see and hear everything. So this isn't exact. There is another court date that is coming up in April, I believe, to see about banning the cameras. But if ChatGPT told me correctly, this one is to ban certain documents and stuff. Let me see if I can pull up my ChatGPT because Chat was a big help to me today in trying to find all of this out. So I'll tell you what chat says it is about. Okay. September. Okay, here we are. February, March. Okay, so March 13th, 10 a.m. Mountain Time is the hearing. So I'll be going live and Ali Files is going to try to stream live on X. We're gonna try to do a joint stream. So I'll be, if we can all figure it out, I'll be here on YouTube. She'll be on X as well. But it says it's hearing on defense motions to restrict public access to certain motions and supporting documents. So they just don't want us to see everything. So let's go back to sharing this tab. I want to make this bigger though. Anyway, can I? I'll make myself smaller. Okay. Okay, so this most likely, I don't know if they're going to touch on this or at the later date because there is another one, April 17th, and it's to exclude the cameras. So this one's just specifically for motions and stuff like this. So since she told me that there was a hearing on Friday morning, I'm like, I've got to be there. We've got to do this. So we'll do it right. We are going to be live in Utah. Hopefully I'll get some people to talk. If you guys have heard of Billy and something or other, this is new to me. They are, I guess, are in Utah and they had done a live event also. Please come to mind. So yeah. So I will be there. I will also go to UVU. We'll do some streaming there. I'm going to go over to Cowboy Smokehouse where, if you guys remember, that was where Tyler drove 3 hours from UVU to have a steak. So I'm going to go to that restaurant and I'm going to touch on, see who I can get a hold of to get to talk to me over there, and, hit some interviews on the street and do that. So hi, Mark, welcome in. Please hit the thumbs up, hit the heart next to the chat. I know, Mark, you always do. So whenever I see your name, it reminds me to remind everybody else. Are you allowed to write down notes while in the courtroom, Mark? So I don't know. I don't know if they'll allow the cameras in there, or phones at least. If I will have a recording device. I don't know how well you'll be able to hear if the phones aren't allowed. So we'll see when we get there. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really nervous about that. I've never done anything like this. Impromptu trips like this to interview people. So I'm super excited. I'll get to put on my news anchor hat and bring that to you. So, but to tell you more about Allie, in case you didn't know, she's the one who originated the theory, the electrocution theory. She was electrocuted as a child. It damaged her. I don't know the extent of the damages, but I guess she was on Barron's show once and talked about it. But she is the one who said this. I think he was electrocuted. She was the first one. So we are going to be working with her some, and I'm really excited about that. So again, I don't know if she's on YouTube, but she's definitely on X, and I think she does her lives on X too, which I've never joined one of Allie's lives, but now I definitely will take a look at that. So we'll be working together a little bit. And Fearlessly Phoenixing gave me the name of Grandma in Utah. That's amazing. I love that help. And so that will be something I'll be looking at. So as they said, tomorrow I most likely won't be streaming because I will be busy getting all my last minute stuff in and getting packed and all that, and kind of trying to calm my nerves a little bit. So yeah, I will try to do lives too when I'm over in Panguitch, over at the restaurant and talking to people over there. So I'll be there, and I'll come back on Monday. So Monday, most likely, unless there's, I don't know if I can commit to being live on Monday, but if I can and I have time, get back in time and get settled in and ready, we'll definitely be doing that. So keep your eye out, hit subscription or notification bells on everything so you can know when we go live with the court hearing and all the rest of the whole weekend trip. It should be exciting. I mean, it's exciting just for the fact that I'm going out to do this. I am quite fearless in that sense. On the inside, I'm nervous, but I'm fearlessly phoenixing in Utah. 17 minutes till Candace. Yes, you got this. Thank you. So Candace, it looks like she's going to, what is her description? President Trump appoints Erica Kirk. Did you guys see that? Erica Kirk is appointed to Air Force Academy Board of Visitors. So she will be, what it sounds to me like, what it reads like, is that it's an advisory role talking about the education for the companies. I don't know a whole lot about it. I've been busy, as you can imagine, and haven't dug into that. I made a post about it on X. Like I said, this could be you too. You could be appointed to all kinds of seats and roles and work with the government. If you work with the government to assassinate your husband, this is what you get. You get rewards. We're not surprised. He has charlatans, criminals, gangsters, in his administration. That's how he wants it. That's how he likes it. So we aren't. We're not going to blame Israel. We are definitely, as a country, we are occupied by, AIPAC and Israel and all of that. No surprise. The show was epic yesterday. Hey there, Paige. Welcome in. Hit the thumbs up and hit the heart next to the chat. Yeah, that was epic. And to be honest, I know when we got off, some people were saying, oh, that's depressing. And it is kind of depressing. But, as long as we can, we're going to keep shining light on this stuff and make sure that everybody knows it and keep spreading the word. More and more people are waking up as they see things play out. Gosh, this hood's really bothering me. As they see things play out. I'm seeing people who were previously mad at people like us, or the people who are noticers and conspiracy theorists, so to speak, putting us down. And the more that they see, then the more they're going, wait a minute, I think something's not right. Something is not right. Yeah, go back and catch Candace's show or the show to recap. What was that about? That was just about the satanic cult that runs our country. And that it's no mistake that Charlie was assassinated at UVU, which has a pentagon shape, she had pointed out. But yeah. Hi, Aaron. She helped kill him. Well, I mean, I'm of the opinion, Aaron, that she helped. And that she was a part of it. Who knows what kind of role, but if it wasn't a main role, it's a definite, in my opinion, a supporting role. And she's being rewarded. Highly rewarded. Mark, it sounds like you're describing Death Row Records when you describe transgrowers. That no doubt. And Letters doesn't have time for all that. But who is the cult? Well, we're not sure. The Freemasons. I'm sure that it all ties into a bunch of other stuff. For real, Anthony says, Mark. They are a bunch of gangsters. I mean, we know that because when he reassigned not Tulsi Gabbard. Who's that other lady? Kristi Noem. When she the only reason he dismissed her from her role was because she mentioned his name and said Trump approved this. Now, and then he reappointed her to something else. He was mad that she threw him under the bus and said, yeah, Trump knew about it. I have no doubt they went around, the proper bureaucracy, or however much bureaucracy they have right now with Trump, which isn't a lot. They can pretty much do whatever they want. But if she had really, if she was being fraudulent and she didn't have permission to do that, he wouldn't have given her another seat. So he's just mad that she mentioned his name, and now it makes him look bad. So she was punished. I don't know how much of a punishment that is where they reassigned her, but yeah. I believe Trump is part of the cult, Aaron. What do you all think in the chat? Is Trump part of it? Oh, absolutely. In my opinion, Trump is. He knows full well what he's doing. He was read into the plan, and he's fully for it because he'll be King Trump, especially over in Israel. So we also learned yesterday that some of the pastors were promised property and land over there in the Gaza Strip, where they're going to build their hotels and all of that, build up the skyline over there. And then who knows how Iran's going to play into that. So absolutely. Hi, Quimby. Trump is involved. I don't know if you were here earlier, Quimby, but I'm traveling a day early over to Utah because Tyler Robinson has a court hearing, and they're trying to, they're asking the judge to not allow the public to be privy to information and filings and documents and stuff like that. In the hearing, that hearing's on Friday morning, so we'll be going live to do that. Hopefully, talk to some people. Later in April, they have another hearing because they want to ban. Why would the defense want to ban cameras and microphones in the courtroom? Because all that could do is help him. So I'm not feeling super hopeful or excited about this defense, because if I had a client and my client was innocent or not guilty, and they were part of a conspiracy to get rid of Charlie Kirk, I would want the world to know, and I would want the public to know, because the more we know, the more we can help. I know that a lot of this stuff, the Epstein files, for instance, if social media content creators, if people like you and me weren't reposting and insisting to see the Epstein files, it wouldn't have gone as far as it has gone. And now they're doing, they're over in in New Mexico, looking at Zorro Ranch. They have dogs over there. Hopefully they can, I don't know if cadaver dogs can, they can get their scent of bones, right? That doesn't have to be a fresh body, but hopefully they'll find information that we've been wanting, that all these years nobody ever went there to investigate. And so if we hadn't been as loud and as insistent as we've been with these Epstein files, it wouldn't have happened. And so the more that we are, involved with the Tyler Robinson case, the better it is for justice. I mean, as much as it can be. So do you guys, does that make you nervous that the defense doesn't want the public to hear and know what's going on? So what's your theory? Why wouldn't they want us in on it? Are they afraid we'd turn against Tyler? Like, what is in there? It can only help him. I mean, we should be involved, and it's our money that, pays for the court system, and we should be allowed to know what's going on. Yes, Quimby heard. That's great. Awesome. Please remember to hit the thumbs up. If you're just coming in, hit the thumbs up on this video, hit the notification bells, because when we're in Utah and we are live this weekend, you will want to be there and you will want to know and hear everything that's going on. Do I think it's possible? No, I do not. I do not, because I believe that he wasn't shot that a gunshot didn't kill him. I believe that is not what happened. And I think if Tyler Robinson was in on it, it was as a distraction, and he was a decoy, just like all of these other cases that we know about now, years and years down the line, where we get the truth after they can't really do anything about it, and everybody involved or the important players are dead, so... Zorro Ranch, finally, only been talking about Zorro Ranch since 2014. Yep, they're out there finally doing what we pay them to do. The kid has no defense. Yeah, and if they're insisting that the public doesn't get to see the information, I don't trust it. Transparency is truth. So, I mean, Mark says, I think the defense is part of the play. They're only acting the part of a defense. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Okay. So, John F. Kennedy, I mean, you name it, Aaron, there's a lot. There's a lot. If you look under what kind of conspiracies for assassination, use ChatGPT. It'll give you the full rundown of theories, of conspiracy theories, either that have been proven or have some validity to it. But there are all kinds. I don't know. Throughout the United States history, they've lied continually. Catherine Nestor was in the crowd of the. I'm gonna take a picture of this name because I want to look this up too. I'll have some time on a flight to do some additional research. So Catherine Nestor. Abe Lincoln is a fun one. Yeah, there's a lot that ChatGPT can tell you. ChatGPT edits itself and wants to not give you. But if you push ChatGPT and you keep insisting on more answers, it'll give them to you eventually. What time are we at? Okay, we're 5 minutes away from Candace going live, so I have her queued up here for us all. But have you guys thought of any places you think I should go take a look at or try to talk to people? Of course, I had talked about I want to go to the police department. I would really love to have the name. That's the thing. If you're in Barron's, I know he has the recording, the 911 recordings. If we can get him to give me names of some of the police officers that are on those recordings, that would be helpful, because I would go in and directly ask to speak to them. And the one question that I have, they won't be able to say a lot, but what I do want to know is in what cases, in what instances do you ask for radio silence? Why was that important? Like, why did you ask for that? And so anyways, I'm sure they can't say a lot, and I'm, probably won't say a lot, but I'm going to try. I'm going to ask. That's what I always tell people. It never hurts to ask. the worst they can do, and this is probably because I've been brought up in sales and stuff like this, for all of my life. You always ask because you don't want to rule anything out. J. Anthony, ever tried Leo AI? No, I try to stay away from Grok and chat. No, I haven't. I'll look it up. They're all connected. I feel like with social media and stuff like that, the AI models, and I don't know much about that, Leo, so I can't speak to that, but it's my opinion that they're all connected, because what they want to do is it's the same as I had talked about in other streams. It's like they want to capture as much audience. So if you're on the right, you're going to use certain social media, you're going to use certain AI. If you're more liberal, you're going to use this. And so what they do is they try to, capture everyone that they can. It's like the difference between generic medication and name brand medication. It's all got the same ingredients. It just captures a different audience, a different market. So, it's my opinion that's all they're doing. So, yeah. Let's see. Catherine Nestor is also 60 Minutes doing interview about trial. She's doing now Corey Kitchen. I'll have to look it up. Aaron says, it's not possible that the left killed him. They tried it on Trump. I don't think they tried it on Trump. I think that was a ruse. I'm of the opinion that that nobody really tried to take a shot at him. I think they tried to galvanize his base. And the way you galvanize a base is by an assassination, you having a martyr, and an attempt on somebody's life, because it makes everybody really upset, and it makes them want to support that person even more. So yeah. Cisco! Hi, Cisco. Welcome in. Candace is going to start here, but I'm going to Utah early. Tyler Robinson has a court case. I'll be there, and we'll be covering it. So make sure you hit notification bell, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hi, Penny. Police scanner that evening said Erica declined autopsy and J.D. Vance picked up body at the hospital. Jeez. So Allie Files is the one who originated the theory of electrocution. And so I really like that she's on board and eager to help with this. I wonder whether Candace uses AI for her investigations. Yeah, I know. I wonder that too. How much? Let's see. Now, I think they actually did it. That's why nobody talks about the water tower guy who shot the guy after the guy shot. For Trump's. Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, if they've got some sharpshooters, they're like, hey, let's make it look a certain way. I know I haven't heard anybody have that same theory as me, that I feel like they all orchestrated it, that he may have known that a bullet was coming and assured that he wouldn't get harmed, but it would, bolster his base. That's my opinion. Cisco, the court won't allow anyone to see Tyler Robinson walk in or walk out of court. I wonder what it's about. What it is about Tyler's walk that is an issue. They don't want people to see him. Yeah, I know they didn't. They got rid of the video of him supposedly turning himself in at the police department. I did, but it was too close. Let's see. He's a gay man in jail. Think about it for a second. He's a gay man in jail. Anyways, it would be nice. I don't know if it'll be interesting to see if Tyler's family is there too. I would like to, to see them and to just put eyes on them. And I know they won't be able to say a whole lot. They want to protect protect him and his court case and all that, understandably. But I guess, the last time there was a court hearing and some other creators showed up, the two girls, Billy and somebody or other. Guys, names don't stick in my head. Let me see if I can get that name for you in case you're interested. Billy and so. Who is it? Have you guys watched them? Really? Anyways, they sat behind Tyler Robinson's parents, and they were chit-chatting about the case. And then his parents, according to them, his parents said, hey, can you not? And they don't believe, they were saying like 2% of what the mainstream media portrays, they're all lies and misleading. So, I mean, they said at least that much to them. So, hello, Super Smarty. Welcome in. Welcome in. If there are any ideas of questions, like if I have a whole list of questions that if somebody wants to talk to me, I have that. But if there are specific things, just you can shoot me an email, teresabetterlife@gmail.com, or put it in the chat here. And it looks like Candace is about to go on, so I'll share this now. All right. We don't want to miss any of this. And we will see. She's on a tear. She's on a tear this week, Mark. She is on a tear again. So I wonder when she'll get back to Candace Erica. I wonder when she'll get back to Erica because we've been covering basically the government and Trump so far, yesterday. And today it looks like too. So, hi, Lavish Habits. Welcome in. Please hit the thumbs up, hit all the notification bells because I am going to Utah. We'll be going live. We'll be streaming through the weekend. We're going to drop into Tyler Robinson's hearing, and you won't want to miss it. And spread the word too. What is this? What was this? The guy with deep Mormon misogyny, physiognomy, physiognomy letters. You got to speak English. I don't know the big words, okay? I don't know what that means, but who came out of nowhere falling? Okay, here we go.
All right, you guys. In today's episode of Everybody Grieves Differently, and by the way, I should say we are in like season 17, episode 4. The writers are running out of ideas and they're just putting up things that don't even make sense anymore. Yeah, well, on today's episode, President Trump has appointed Erica Kirk to the Air Force Academy's Board of Visitors. Now, if you would like to know how that further empowers this world-renowned widow who is definitely grieving, I will explain that to you. Is she qualified? Of course not even a little bit. Doesn't even matter. Also, I got to speak to you about something much more seriously. I have a growing hunch, that Erica and Jeffrey Epstein may have crossed paths.
Oh, yeah.
Something is not sitting right with me about how she just keeps dancing around Jeffrey Epstein in her life. I am finding it increasingly difficult to believe that Erica just keeps coincidentally getting involved with countries and companies and schools that Epstein is involved with deeply. So I went ahead and messaged the PR team, legal team over at Turning Point USA with a very specific question pertaining to a modeling company that I recently discovered that she had some involvement with. 48 hours later, we have not yet heard back. Welcome back to Candace.
I got to mute this because it copyright strikes me for this song, and it doesn't affect my channel, but I just don't like to see copyright on there. I just want it clean. Whoop. Okay.
Okay, let's start with the major headline today. Erica Kirk has been appointed to the Air Force Academy Board. Yeah. Yeah. I'm here for it. I love it.
Just kill someone for
That's
Trump.
what you need to know on this Tuesday morning. So you get back to work, Goyam. You'll be lucky if you ever pay off those student loans, pay down that mortgage. Erica Kirk, on the other hand, well, she's just being handed promotions. In case you missed it, her husband died. So now she will be advising the Department of Defense. I don't know. With this appointment, Erica joins just 15 other members. That's how exclusive this board is. There's just 15 other members, and they are responsible, just so you understand what the job requires, they're responsible for making recommendations to the Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, regarding changes to the Air Force Academy. They're also tasked with providing an annual report regarding the military institute's morale, its finances, its financial state, and its academics. Now, you might be wondering right now, how on earth is Erica Kirk? How did she really just graduate from an apparent stay-at-home mother to suddenly being qualified to submit financial, academic, and military morale reports to the Defense Secretary of the United States? And if you're wondering that, you should know that you're everybody. We are all wondering this, but I don't know, guys. Her husband died. That's what I'm told. We are just constantly being reminded that her husband died. Therefore, hey, she could be president one day. That's what Charlie said, allegedly. There's no, obviously we can't see where he said it, but he did say it. He just happened to say that she's going to be president one day. And some would say that maybe it's starting to look like a Claire Underwood from House of Cards situation. Maybe we don't feel so great about her ambition in this moment. But those people, you should dispel what they're saying. They would be wrong because the experts have explained things very clearly. And the experts say Erica is qualified because Charlie was qualified. She's literally just taking his place. Anything he can do, she can do better. Yeah, sure. Charlie was a literal boy genius, boy wonder, who had been militarily inclined since high school. Remember, his plan initially was to get into West Point, but then he established Turning Point, and it drove his life into a different direction. And sure, Charlie then built and ran that successful college campus student organization with chapters all across the nation. And sure, that organization earned him the ear of the President of the United States and every major political player in the country and world. And sure, that organization was taking $100 million in annually. But what? Like, it's hard. Erica's husband died, so now she's qualified to take his place. That's how this works now. And that's what she's doing. Charlie, by the way, had himself earned that appointment. And there was backlash going, wait, whoa, this is a very big deal. We shouldn't be mixing politics with this. He had earned that appointment in March of 2025. So just 6 months before he was assassinated. We can all therefore reasonably assume that his beauty pageant wife, who makes t-shirts with biblical verses on them, is going to bring the same level of experience to this exclusive role because she's grieving. And the math on this is really simple. It makes perfect sense if you don't think about it at all. And you want to know what I think? I think that why stop there? Why stop there? We're so far past ridiculous. I want them to actually just accelerate things. Why not just make Erica the defense secretary altogether? Why not just give her command and control over the Army, the Air Force, the Marines, the Space Force? I do not see a legitimate reason why Erica wasn't sitting to the left of Trump in the Situation Room when they bombed Iran. That seems perfectly logical now. I mean, her husband was assassinated and she's a grieving widow. So, yeah, maybe she could provide counsel to the president regarding this crucial Operation Epstein Fury. That's what we're calling it. We know what this is really about. They're distracting us from the Epstein files and just doing whatever Israel wants, like always. Which brings me to Jeffrey Epstein in general. Speaking of Jeffrey Epstein, who was in fact an occult Jewish pedophile, I wanted to show you this email. I had mentioned it yesterday that took place between him and the Princess of Norway. I had mentioned it because I was casually discussing how the real aims of these people is they just want less humans. Mm-hmm. The elites want less humans on Earth. They do not want us to be able to reproduce. They will give us whatever propaganda serves, whether you're left or right. And yeah, you're going to see this email that I'm going to show you to put it in its proper context. The lead up to this email is the two of them discussing food and antibiotics destroying living organisms. I'm very antibiotic. We'll save that for another show. Anyways, this discussion ends with a mild celebration regarding how ultimately that's going to give them the power to just create humans. This is a conversation back in 2012. Let's read it together. She writes, the princess writes, "You always make me smile because you tickle my brain, but I want the data from now. or The Bill Is Mine. It is the cocktail of all of the unnaturals that have a profound effect on the early stages of development in humans. Soon, people won't be able to make new humans anymore. But I guess that would be La La Land great because we can just design them in a lab. So futuristic. Just design humans in a lab. I just think it's really important for me to underscore to you guys that left and right, that has always been the goal. Less humans. To my lefties, truly, it was never about my body, my choice. Go down the Emma Goldman rabbit hole. Go down and understand who was behind Margaret Sanger. This was always about eugenics. The goal was eugenics. They view us all to be human weeds that need to be exterminated. Now, to my conservatives, who, like me, truly believed that our military was out there spreading democracy all over the world because the West is the best and that this was going to, these wars would in some way benefit us. Nope. I think now we can accept this was about just mowing the lawn, mass murdering people, also destroying history because they want like a forever present, a forever future almost, like we did in Iraq, like we did in Afghanistan, destroying ancient civilizations, with the added plus of stealing country resources that are going to help them further poison the general Goyim population. Poppy seeds for opiates, followed by an opioid crisis in America, get everybody addicted, encourage them to kill their offspring. Big pharma in a nutshell. Okay. Yes, it is also their ultimate goal with IVF. They want all of us to have to come to them, the government overlords, to be able to have a family. A lot of women today are struggling with fertility issues. That's a real thing, and that is not by accident. That is by design. So there was all of this panic yesterday online. The show was trending because we're beginning to discuss the occult. We're discussing mysticism. These people are literally summoning demons, and they're making blood sacrifices. And now the world recognizes that. I think it's now a mainstreamed conversation, which is fantastic. And I wanted to follow up on that note and show you another clip of Father Ripberger discussing this on Sean Ryan's podcast. He's on there discussing as an exorcist the things that he has come across. It's a fantastic conversation. It's like 4 hours long. You should watch the entire thing. But in particular, in this clip, he's going to discuss how coming into contact, Freemasonry, essentially, and how people can raise the ranks through the occult families, how they get involved with these mystic cults in general. Anyway, take a listen.
If you are in the occult, do you just arrive at that level where you're doing satanic rituals, or do you graduate?
Some graduate. Some are actually they're trained in this stuff from the very beginning. Sometimes they're actually groomed. They'll watch them in college, or they'll watch them and then they'll introduce them into this through various secret societies and things of that sort. They'll get them into engaging in the occult. There's a few of these people, not many of them, that are actually part of a pedigree or history that extends back to the late 1500s, 1600s, where the occult practices has been in their family lineage literally for 300 to 400 years. And so they're so proficient in the knowledge about how this stuff works and what is actually involved. They know that there's demons and God, etc. And they know that their activity in the occult is getting demons actually involved. They fully know that. In fact, their knowledge of this stuff is almost on the same level as mine. And so they have a full understanding of it, but they're on the side of evil. And so they tend to raise their children generation after generation within that particular occult set of practices.
That is exactly right, ladies and gentlemen. These bloodlines are ancient. These practices are ancient. And the reason why they're constantly moving people all over the world is they don't want you to have this ancestral knowledge. They don't want you to know that they're doing this stuff in broad daylight. The revelation of the method. They're kind of telling you they're doing these things. More on that later. The point here is that Epstein was definitively of the mystic Frankist ilk. He was practicing mystical Judaism. There is no question about that. It always involves occult rituals which involve harming innocent children. And regarding Jeffrey Epstein in particular, I want to throw it back to this tweet that I published on Thursday, January 29th of this year. It's really interesting in retrospect because I truly did not know what it might amount to. So the backstory here is that I had received a couple of emails from people that follow and watch the show at the White House. And they said, hey, Candace, Andrew Colbert, Mikey McCoy, and a couple of women look like Mikey McCoy's wife. They were in the West Wing. And, we just thought that's kind of odd because Andrew just presented as though he was live on the Charlie Kirk show doing a phone call with Kash Patel. But actually, he's here. He's in front of us here in Washington, D.C. on the other side of the country. So I followed up with them and I asked them specifically who was Andrew Colbert and allegedly Mikey McCoy and co meeting with. Could you guys ask around and figure this out, where you saw them? And they said, well, and I'll quote this, the offices in that general region are senior White House staff. It could be Susie Wiles, Stephen Miller, James Braid, the vice president's hallway and the situation room connect to that lobby. So any number of people could have been in there, a Kash, the NSA director, Pete. The cabinet meeting had just let out 15 minutes prior too, so that also adds any members of the cabinet. I didn't know what to make of this, right? So I just instantly put the information out there, and this is what I tweeted. I tweeted, just in case. I said, tweeting this in case it's relevant down the line. 2 days ago, Thursday, January 29th, Blake Neff and Andrew Colbert hosted Kash Patel on Charlie Kirk's show. It appeared as though Kash phoned into the show live, but he did not. Andrew Colbert was actually in the West Wing in D.C. that day, taking a meeting with top brass. The episode was pre-recorded. People in the White House and all around the world think Andrew is shady and intentionally wanted the public to think that he was in Arizona for some reason. So they asked me to release this information. The next bit is unconfirmed, but they believe Andrew was accompanied by Mikey McCoy and his wife, Elizabeth. If you see something, say something. Okay, so I share that. And what struck me as immediately odd was that Andrew Colbert and allegedly Mikey McCoy and his wife were making an effort to fake alive on Charlie Kirk's show with none other than Mr. 33 Kash Patel. Like, why do that at all? In that particular episode that they had with Kash Patel, Kash called in and it was all very performative. I never do this. I never call. Like, it's like, you guys are like together in DC. What are we doing here? I had also replied on January 29th, which you can find this tweet to someone. And I said like, hey, I'm trying to figure out why Andrew Colbert's in the White House. Now, Andrew, the reason why this also should stand out to you is because Andrew has missed plenty of episodes of the Charlie Kirk show. Sometimes it's just Blake Neff. Sometimes it's just, it's Blake and Mikey. Sometimes it's a guest host. Sometimes when traveling, Andrew even calls in for a segment. But this was, for some reason, pre-recorded and intentionally presented to the public as though it was live. I never do this. So I thought through that and I said, a fair assumption is that they did not want people to know that they were taking a meeting at the White House.
Yeah.
And that's a very unusual desire for Turning Point USA, right? They normally love to promote the fact that they are involved with Trump, throwing flashy events at the White House, Mar-a-Lago, posing, all glammed up. So then I had to ask myself, well, what in particular was it about this meeting on this day in the West Wing that they wanted to fly under the radar? What could have been the subject that they wanted to fly under the radar? I wasn't sure. Like I said, it felt important enough to tweet about it just in case. And lo and behold, the very next day on January 30th, the Epstein files were released. And I thought, oh, how precise.
Interesting.
Is it possible that the meeting was related to the Epstein files, which are heavily redacted and obviously not complete? And said to myself, well, Erica was heavily involved in the pageantry world, really her whole life. Trump was also heavily involved in the pageantry world. More specifically, Donald Trump was actually the 50% owner of Miss America alongside NBC Universal when Erica was crowned. And Trump and Epstein's relationship, to be sure, seemed to be centered around pageantry and the modeling world and parties. There was even a lawsuit that was filed back in 1997 over a pageant company wherein one of the guys had said that during a meeting for his company that Jeffrey Epstein was there, which is kind of like an honorable mention. So, okay, and Trump has never denied that he hung out with Epstein. He said, I never went to the island, but there are obviously photos. So that's interesting. And I want to make sure you understand what Jeffrey Epstein did, how he was trafficking. It's important to remember that Jeffrey Epstein was specifically trafficking women from Eastern Europe through modeling agencies. Okay. So it's a great cover, whether he was working with Victoria's Secret, Les Wexner hands him the keys and all of a sudden he's like a casting director looking at all of these models. Jean-Luc Brunel in Paris, his agency, MC2 Modeling. Jean-Luc Brunel kills himself. The media doesn't want to mention the fact that they also had offices in Tel Aviv. Jean-Luc Brunel did. And that's how he was accomplishing it, because when you see a lot of women at a modeling agency, you don't go, oh, maybe these women are being trafficked from Europe. Maybe these women are, not actually happy to be here. Maybe they're in some danger, right? It's like the illusion when there's just a lot of models at any event, whether it's a pageant, anything else, is that this is normal because it's just the world of fashion or the world of beauty or the world of modeling. Okay, so Victoria's Secret he's doing casting for. And also when you go through his emails, it seems like he's also hand-picking girls for certain pageants. I mean, I've read through some of them. Like he had clearly a very strong relationship with the Miss North Carolina one year. But I thought, okay, maybe still another coincidence, right? Erica's in pageant world, Trump's in pageant world, Epstein's in pageant world-ish. Then we took a week off to investigate Erica, and I was even more stunned by some more coincidences, and I'm going to run you through them here. Okay, so in 2010, we know Jeffrey Epstein, based on the emails, begins procuring models from Romania. We also know that that's the same time and year the Black Sea Rotational Force in Constanta, Romania, is being led by Erica's cousin, Lieutenant Colonel Dennis Franțve. It's the first time America is operating a base in Romania, which is later going to be accused of prostituting underage Romanian children. Brothel, Colonel Otto Buscher. Same time frame, Tyler Boyer goes out to Constanta, Romania, and he's hanging out and he's partying and he's drinking with Romanian models and parliament politicians. Then Tyler is going to return from Romania around September of 2010. Makes sense because he was attending Arizona State University, so school's got to get going. And then that same year, Jeffrey Epstein begins giving money to Arizona State University, specifically for their Origins project. Okay. 4 months after that, Erica, and this is now into 2011, in May of 2011, Tyler Boyer is going to get unusually elected to the Board of Regents. And I say unusually because the governor, he kind of didn't go through the normal process, and the governor just decides Tyler Boyer's the guy. And then 4 months beyond that, Erica is going to enroll into ASU for her final year of college from 2011, 2012. And immediately 2 months after that, after the semester begins, she wins Miss Arizona USA, right, in November. And right after winning, we know she's going to establish this working partnership with the U.S. Marines Black Sea Rotational Force in Constanta, teaming up with them to run the Romanian Angels Project through her 501c3 Everyday Heroes. She's going to go out to Constanta. She's working with Colonel Otto Buscher, that same colonel who's going to be accused of trafficking and prostituting underage Romanians, apparently up and through Tel Aviv. And I do want to also say about that, in general, why did she partner with the U.S. Marines at all? That's not a requirement. Okay, I went to Romania twice. My best friend was Romanian and actually lived, her family, like she grew up here, but her family lived in Constanta. You can just go do charity. You don't have to team up with the U.S. Marines. This is a EU member state, okay? You don't need the protection of U.S. Marines to be in Romania and decide that you want to drop off some Christmas gifts. Really, you just need an address to do that. But for some reason, this particular charity felt that they needed to team up with the U.S. Marines. I just want to point, no one's really recognized that. You don't need to do that. I can go do charity anywhere in Europe right now. Doesn't demand a partnership with the U.S. Marines. It's very strange. Then we have in 2014, 2015, Erica begins tweeting that she's a casting director or casting recruiter in Los Angeles. The same time, she's kind of trying to break into the industry herself, which we've shown. And I also want to say that during this time that she's trying to get involved in reality TV, we find her floating around Mark Burnett. Mark Burnett is also running Mark Burnett Productions. He's running Trump's Apprentice show. A lot of synergy happening around this time. I do believe that Erica knew Donald Trump before she ever met Charlie Kirk. I think that's honestly evident. And so it really makes you wonder if this kind of brings in Colvette, because Kairos Company is working with Mark Burnett via Johnny Moore. It's very weird around this time frame, but it's this next little time frame that I want to get to you guys on. All right, so I'll tell you how I got this information. I had received a tip a while ago saying, hey, their next model management in New York City, Faith Cates, who was the co-founder of it, had to step down because of her involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. She's like in his emails like 4,000 times. Even after he got arrested for pedophilia, she's like, I will never betray you. I will never, ever betray you. Like, I've got your back to the end. She was very close. I mean, look, she's inviting him here in this email to her son's bar mitzvah. And this person said, just so you know, Erica was involved with Next Model Management, right? So this is a tip. And this person did not work with Next Model Management. So I was like, okay, tip, I'll see where it leads, kind of investigate things. I kind of reach into some old contact cards. I'm going, that would be very curious because Next Model Management apparently had tons of Eastern European girls all around the office. And like I said, you can look more into the Faith Cates thing, but it's not great. It's not great. The relationship that Faith Cates had with Jeffrey Epstein, Eastern European models all around Next Model Management office. He was helping this model agency in particular. And so I decided to see if I could get some more people to verify that Erica was involved. What was she doing? Was she modeling? No. Well, I was able to confirm it, not just once, not twice, 3 times, 4 times with people with direct knowledge that Erica Kirk was multiple times taking meetings at Next Model Management and dealing with the people, like the suits that would surround Faith Cates, people like Jeffrey Epstein. Now, they did not say they saw her meeting with Jeffrey Epstein, but they said essentially Jeffrey Epstein was always there because he was so close with Faith. This cannot be denied. You can go through their emails. They're very close. And so he would sometimes come in and he would take a meeting. And so he would just kind of, when you're friends with someone, I'm going to take an office, and nobody knew what the context of these meetings were. They are saying that in meetings like that, meaning Erica was not there because of a modeling contract or because they don't know why she was there. They don't know why Erica was in that same category of suits, right? Of just like suits, and they were not to ask questions, and Erica is there and she's taking meetings at Next Model Management. So now feeling 100% certain that this information was real, like I said, confirming it 4 ways, I decided to go out and ask Erica what she was doing there. Because if people with intimate knowledge situation don't know what she was doing there, that's not great, right? What are the chances? What does Erica have to do with Next Model Management? What is she doing there? And I went out to her and I, of course, copied the spokesperson, Andrew Colvett, and I said, what specifically were you doing at Next Model Management in New York City? What's up? What do you do? Did you run into Epstein? Like, I just want to know, like, what is your relationship with Faith? How about that? Give me the context of this. Crickets. I feel like that would be a very easy email to answer. One question: what is the context of your relationship with Next Model Management? We've now confirmed that you were taking meetings here. What was the nature of those meetings? And I mentioned, she's obviously had a falling out she had to step down because of the Epstein emails, and she retired. She said it's like the nice way of, I'm deciding to retire. And nothing. Wouldn't you just answer that instantly? Like if someone just emailed me and said, what is the context? You're ASU, you got Romania going on, you're not this modeling agency. And they said like there were constantly Eastern European models all over the office. I mean, like it was just everywhere. And Epstein would just come all the time. Like, this was his friend. Why wouldn't he come into his friend's office? Wouldn't you like rank that really high in terms of just giving a comment and being like, oh, I was there for, I don't know what would be an appropriate answer. I literally don't know what would be appropriate answer. I don't know why she'd be there, but wouldn't you just offer that answer if there was a good answer? I find it to be very strange. I find that to be very strange, especially when we now add in the fact, going back to the way that she's dancing around Epstein, pageant world, Romania, ASU. Now we have Next Model Management specifically, and real estate. We can't get an answer on that. Erica being the busiest person in the world in 2018, receiving degrees, starting and running a business, a clothing company, also taking interviews with Turning Point because she's going to help them, but then falling in love with Charlie. She also unusually receives her New York real estate license to work with Corcoran Real Estate. and that is under the stewardship of Pam Lehman. It featured in the Epstein files, was helping him with real estate deals, but also we can't find any real estate deals that Erica completed in New York. And real estate agents are reaching out to me saying, you can't just get a license and work for Corcoran. That's not how the real estate world works. I guess they have certain requirements. They're like, this is backdoor stuff. Somebody just made that happen for her. And there does, like I said, does not appear to be any record of her having completed that. But we do then learn via Jeffrey Epstein's emails that the president of the Corcoran Group is actually Linda Rothschild. And Jeffrey Epstein is working directly for the Rothschilds. He himself is saying that Corcoran Real Estate Group is all over his emails. Okay. It says it right there. Someone read a background on Linda Rothschild. It has all of her different names that she uses and also has her listed as the president of the Corcoran Group. What was Erica doing for the Corcoran Group? Who got her that job? Who recalls sitting with Erica for her real estate license? Do you do it online? I don't know. I'm ignorant about real estate license. I will say that. But I do know that there is a general understanding that if you want to move money, real estate is a very good way to do that. It's a very good way to do that. It's a good cover if you're trying to move money. Real estate's a very productive means to do that. And I am starting to have just how many times can her life path keep intersecting with Jeffrey Epstein before it's weird? Her relationship with Trump just like here, something is not feeling right. Jeffrey, we got him gaslighting us. We got Andrew Colvett. We got this meeting at the White House that they didn't brag about. They love the photos. They love the photo ops. They're there the evening before, and they're in the West Wing. Yeah, they met with someone very important about, like, hey, can't you just come out and say what you were meeting about? What was the context of that meeting? I would like to know. I mean, you guys are saying everything else. Something is not right. That's almost redundant at this point. The fact that something is not right with Erica, but I would like an answer as to what specifically Erica was doing, sitting down in offices with suits at the next model management company. I think that's a very simple question to ask. There may be a very simple answer. We will see. We'll be right back after a brief break. All right, you guys, thanks to you last year, Preborn.
Wow. I mean, so what it looks like, if we're connecting the dots and looking back at the dates, is this has been in the works since 2011, like to install. Like, they're playing all this chess. We're not privy to the information. We don't know what's going on. And they've been working on it for years. I mean, a lot of us know that the government we believe that they are working in this way. But to see it play out and to see it on paper like this with dates, it really gives you a whole other depth of understanding of how they operate, and that we are just now catching up. We're not even close to catching up. And now I believe the reason that they're so in our face and they don't care and they want us to know we have no control and they've got all the power and they've got all the moves. How much do you think we can do now? I mean, I still think as long as we're breathing and we're alive, there's a lot we can do. It's just what can we do and in what ways can we do it to combat this? Anyway, so yeah, Erica Kirk's been in play. How long, Mark? They're operating in the year 2095. Yeah. Her qualifications aren't important if she is a handler operative. Yeah, and that's an interesting thing to think about. Who would be her next Mark? Maybe it's Trump. Maybe it's Vance. Oh, Candace is back.
As I refer to on the show as the Midas touch. Somebody just pulling her through the ranks at all times. I don't know if she's even smart, but they're telling us that she's like the brightest in the entire world and that she's doing it all.
Yeah, they are.
And no one can even confirm that she did graduate summa cum laude from ASU. But by the way, she has since removed that from her bio. She is slated to speak at Hillsdale College, and the students have all messaged me about it because they don't want her there. And they similarly just feel like she's just being hoisted upon them. And you just go, the woman I'm speaking to, like that we're listening rather to her speak, is not a super genius. You didn't have to guess whether Charlie Kirk was a genius. You know what I mean? But they're just like, she is. She's so qualified, hyper qualified. We can't show you where on the resume where she's qualified, or how you go from like modeling agencies and dating reality shows and pageantry to where she is now, the Department of Defense. No one can explain that. And they don't even care to. It's giving Jeffrey Epstein when he just like becomes a math teacher and someone's pulling him from the ranks, and that someone is Bill Barr, right? Who gives him that job because he's running that school. Something's just really weird about everything. And I also wanted to tell you, this is kind of happening on X right now. Turning Point tried to remove it from the podcast. They did actually remove it from the podcast, but not before the internet grabbed it. It's this clip of Blake Neff. He's one of my favorite characters because he always just says too much and it's never good. And Blake Neff is explained on Charlie Kirk's show earlier today that Erica says that Charlie, if he had a chance, if he had a choice, he would stay dead. Take it away, Blake Neff.
Blake, any thoughts?
What?
It's Erica said that if Charlie was given the choice to undo what happened and come back, he wouldn't, she thought, because of what was unleashed by it.
We tried to get like the full clip, but they've since removed that. And Blake is like, that's just because of the faith revolution. And like, he would be so happy to see that people are being driven toward churches that he would pick.
He was a
If
true
he was in
martyr.
heaven and given them, he would just say, I'm just going to stay here and I'm going to let my kids grow up without a father and really without a mother, because everything seems to be going according to some more divine plan. And Erica has taken my spot everywhere. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's actually talk about September 8th, because I now feel like, now that we've learned more about Erica, the Fort Huachuca story, I'm leaning towards Mitch. Allegedly, Erica, he saw her on September 8th, Fort Huachuca. It caused mass panic. They spent tons of money getting people to attack me. And that now, with everything we know about the way Erica moves, didn't really know in the beginning how to feel. But I'd like to add, I guess, just some more data points to September 8th. Now, remember, Erica's claim before they sent me a cease and desist was that she was making dinner for Charlie that night, but no one else has been able to independently confirm that. Frank Turek does make the claim that Charlie had dinner with his family, but he doesn't mention Erica. He doesn't say his wife. And I find that to be interesting because I think Frank Turek is actually a smarter person involved in this. He hasn't made the same mistakes as everybody else. He's he says just enough. So this could just as easily mean that Charlie had dinner with the kids. That's the vibe that I get from September 8th. We're going to go through this timeline, is that Charlie was the parent that night. Listen to what Frank Turek had to say.
The last walk we went on, Megan, was Monday night. So the terrible day was Wednesday. And so we spent some time Monday, and then we both went to dinner. He wanted to have dinner with the family, he's a family man. So he said, hey, can you come back at about 8? We'll go on a walk. I said, yeah, okay. So I came back down at 8, and I texted him. I said, okay, I'm about here. He said, coming out. And then a minute later, he said, shortly, Gigi just got up. So he was obviously taking care of the baby, taking care of his daughter, because that's the kind of person he was. And then we went on this long walk, and there were 2 major issues that kept coming up that he wanted to be better at.
So we received an email which made this even more interesting. I don't even know how I missed this, but they said, Candace, Charlie on September 8th was very obviously watching the Bears football game. He was a massive Chicago Bears fan. Everybody knows that. And it was like kind of always this feature on his show of him being upset with the chronic upsets that comes apparently with being a Chicago Bears fan. And he recounted with remarkable detail, at least, and this is, again, I'm happy to yield and err on the side of caution, but I think we can confidently state that Charlie definitively watched the second half of that game glued to his screen. Take a listen to Charlie discussing the Bears game on September 8th.
Blake is such a Packers fan. He said, what should we talk about? Oh, talk about the Bears. I'm not talking about the Bears, okay? You see, I even put in my group chat, I said, the Bears are winning by 14 points. This is a very strange thing. I don't know how to handle it. The Bears put on a masterclass, one of the worst coach games in the history of football. It was so bad. They challenge in the second. You never do this in the second half. You should be smacked across the face. He challenged what was not even a close call of Noah Sewell, with a fumble. What happens when you lose a challenge? You lose a timeout. So you lose a timeout. You need to stop the clock. And they only have 2 timeouts left, and they can't do that. And then some rocket scientist on the Bears, I'm screaming at my TV. I woke up everyone. They decide, well, we have to kick the ball, and it was like 2 minutes and 2 seconds left, okay? And they're down by 3 points. 2 minutes, 2 seconds left. So with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left, you have to make sure that the ball either goes out of bounds or that you kick it off so they can't do a turn. You only have 1 timeout left. Why does that matter? Well, because then the 2-minute warning stops the clock, and that is a built-in timeout for when the Vikings run the ball inevitably. What do? They allow the Vikings to return the ball. They're basically ending the game.
I don't think there's any question that Charlie watched the second half of that game, and he says he was screaming at his TV, okay? So we are now able to tighten up that schedule on September 8th. I'm going to show you guys that, what we have here going on. First and foremost, I do want to note that that article appears in the Jezebel.com regarding the witch's cursed place on Charlie's life. That was at 9:49 a.m. All of this is in Arizona time, just to be clear. 9:49 a.m. that article appears in Jezebel regarding a witch's curse that was placed on Charlie. Exactly 1 hour later, to the minute, Erica breaks her years-long Twitter silence, and she tweets out a Bible verse, Ephesians, for by grace you have been saved through faith. Okay. At 10 o'clock a.m., Charlie appears from his home studio live on Charlie Kirk. That is what that's a different episode, not the one that we just watched. At 10:45 a.m., Lori Franz-Fay has an appointment at the clinic, and Charlie allegedly meets up with her, accompanies her. These appointments apparently run for an hour, so Charlie and Lori are together. From 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock p.m., Charlie appears from his home studio on the Ingram angle. There was that notorious picture going around where Charlie looked angry, like he was looking off to the side. Well, he's got to be looking at Frank Turek. I would suspect, based on this timeline, that Frank Turek was with him. That would track that he's, because it's getting tight now. The game is about to kick off. Erica's her alibi is going to be she arrived home. And so, yeah, you guys, everyone investigating this should now copy this timeline. I think Frank Turek was with Charlie. I'm not saying Charlie was angry at Frank, but I still don't believe Frank's story that they went on a walk to talk about pointers about how Charlie would debate and college. I never bought that he was just suddenly in need of so much debate help. I think there was something going on. There was some sort of crisis that required Charlie speaking to a rabbi, a pastor, and a priest within 48 hours. I think that's a
rabbi,
fair assumption
a pastor,
to make.
and a priest.
Erica, and again,
Etsy.
Frank has never said these portions about dinner. He says dinner with the family. But Erica will allege that she arrives home at 5:24. And then at 5:41, Charlie is allegedly, as she's coming up, she's already upstairs. Charlie then's allegedly going to text her and ask her what time dinner is. Despite being in close quarters, Erica is then, because, it's a very small apartment, it can wake Gigi up by opening a fridge in the middle of the night. Charlie is then going to text Erica and ask, like I said, what time dinner is. And then Erica is going to text Charlie that dinner is ready. So this is a fast dinner. If I have to fit in everything. And then you can kind of see we've gone through and went back to the game, followed people's tweets of when exactly Noah Sewell forced a fumble on TJ. That's what he's talking about there. And you can see that this timeline is starting to tighten up. So I wanted to share this with you because I have a strong inkling, and it is not a fact, but it is a strong inkling that Charlie was at home alone with the kids. That is why when he woke Gigi up, it would track that he went to have dinner with his kids and his quote unquote family. And that is why when he was shouting at the TV, which would in fact wake a toddler up around when is he shouting at the challenge around 7:16, that he then screaming at the game, whenever Gigi wakes up, he then tells Frank, hold up, because the Chicago game is on, which Frank hasn't mentioned that, which I find to be interesting. Might be a talking point of why he was running late. But this is it's getting interesting. It's definitely getting interesting. That game ended at 8:30, so he definitely was not walking with Charlie at 8 o'clock because he is very clear that he was screaming. And then he comes down a little bit late. Charlie is then going to be seen at 9 o'clock walking with his bodyguard, Heath, and accompanied by a tall man who is not Frank Turek. So locals did not see Frank Turek on this walk with Charlie. They did see Charlie on a walk. He stopped. He spoke with his neighbor for a few minutes about his upcoming tour, said hello to the dog. Yeah. My suspicion is Frank was there for some reason. It's not, you don't just like sort of invite a pastor over and then say, come back. And there's something going on. There's something going on. And I think Frank would know the answer. I think Frank could answer, by the way. I will get an email out to him as to whether or not he was the person that was in Charlie's studio when he looks off to the left before the Laura Ingraham hit. And I think Frank could actually answer whether or not Erica was home. It's a yes or no question. Was Erica home? Did you see Erica? Nobody yet. And I will keep putting out an APB for September 8th for Erica Kirk. No one can confirm seeing her anywhere. And she was very well known in this neighborhood. Charlie's entire family is well known. People will tell me when they see the kids, who they saw the kids with, that they saw the kids with Tracy Martin's husband. I mean, you could say any person, they know, because Charlie Kirk was a celebrity. He was a fixture. So they knew his family, they knew his kids. And no one can confirm that they saw Eric Kirk on the 8th. And I'm troubled by that. Even anywhere. When they went to go pick up the food from the grocery store. I don't know. Given how much she pathologically lies, and given how aggressive the campaign was when we merely mentioned Fort Huachuca, and I had not yet dropped the fact that he thought he saw Erica. We were actually holding that back. And then she does this tour and gets like real aggressive and just stop. My vibes, my spidey senses are telling me that Erica was not there on the 8th. I find her pretending not to understand the instructions or the middle person, what we're trying to get to confirm that this text correspondence really took place between her and Charlie and not her and somebody else or two other people. I don't buy it. I don't buy anything really that Erica says. She lies a lot. And I think we've proven that thus far. Anyway, we'll take a break here and I'll answer some of your questions. All right, you guys, if you are looking to get ahead of
Frank Turek's not going to say anything. He won't answer. I doubt he'll communicate with Candace at all anymore. And the fact one of you guys was saying, them taking meetings with Trump and Patel and all of that. Obviously, they want to get their story straight. But yeah, you're right. That's like, it's a conflict. They should not be, they should not be doing that. But none of them does anything that they should do in this administration. Let's see. Do you guys think we are ever going to hear from the kids? I mean, we heard from Kurt Cobain's kids eventually. I don't think so. And some people wonder if those are even really Charlie's and Erica's kids. Did she really give birth? She claims that there's a picture of her in the hospital. I'm sure there is. But, I mean, it's just, she hasn't shown it. So I can't say I'm sure there is. I mean, if there is a picture, show us. It's a really odd thing. I mean, pregnancy is something that people do every day. Quimby says, if Charlie was out for a walk at 9 p.m. with bodyguard, who was in the house with the kids? Exactly. Did they have help? If not, Erica would have been home because Charlie Kirk wouldn't leave toddlers alone to go for a walk. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Who was watching after them? It doesn't seem like they've ever said that they have help with the kids. And if she was home, I mean, how big is the house, y'all? I mean, is it that big? Y'all got to text and not see each other?
People who came out of the gate defending her. Yeah, they were like, okay, she's a grieving widow. And it's like, she's a grieving widow. And then you kind of have to put your head down and be like, okay, she really is grieving differently, like with the Department of Defense and just taking her husband's place. That's why you should never rush to defend something that you know is wrong, right? Because eventually it's going to catch up with you. Everyone knew it was wrong. Everyone knew the way she was moving wasn't right. It's better to actually stay quiet if you're not sure, which was me. I was like, I'm going to be quiet. I just don't want to feel the way that I feel every time she opens her mouth. I didn't like the whispering too. Like there's a lot of whispering she does that is like, he knows.
I don't think any of us, even though we saw it and we think that's normal and that's gross, how she's carrying herself and how she's behaving, I don't think any of us wanted to see what we saw. None of us.
He knows. Like
we tried not to feel that way.
That
I
felt
think
a little bit performative to me, but it's like, you know what? That's a opinion. It's a fact. And the facts followed. Facts followed the vibes that we were getting. And that's why you should never, you just wait, be patient, allow the truth to reveal itself. It always does. I am going to get to actually, what was our number one comment from yesterday's episode? Do we have that? Did we pull that yet? All right. Number one comment from yesterday's episode. I cherish this freedom of expression. Its loss reveals the extent to which the French people in France are under the thumb of the elite and for a very long time. That was our number one. This is no way. This is the number one comment. Oh, from our French channel. Ah, okay. I was like, I really don't think. Okay, wonderful. That's amazing. It's great to have. We do have a channel that is in French. So there you go. A number one comment from our English channel is I prayed for a sign as to whether to join the military or not today. And I got my sign. Thank you, Candace. God bless you. I will not be dying for Israel.
Yes.
I am so glad that I could do something productive.
That's good.
I just don't even understand why people are dying overseas at all. Our country, like I said, is in decline. And it's very obvious that the priority is just to serve Israel. And that will be Trump's legacy, sadly. And I love how they're trying to, Candace betrayed Trump. No, Trump betrayed Trump. Trump betrayed MAGA. That is what happened. Everyone can see that now. Everything he is doing is the opposite of what he said he would do.
He betrays everyone.
And yeah, you would actually prove yourself to just be a moron if you think that the literal Never Trump movement, which is now applauding his every move, is somehow at all reflective of original MAGA. That's so beyond ridiculous. It's stupid. Let's see some comments that you have for today's episode. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. Hamularicdon. I love the fierce passion that you have for truth. Everyone has a growth arc. I love seeing your mind and your views mature. In conversations, I see that others want to trust your sincerity, but feel that you helped push the culture war, fed slop distractions in the past too. Your honest thoughts here. I've been giving you my honest thoughts. I was a part of it. I did see it as just a problem with the left. That's the whole point. That's why I say this is our perspective on the right and this is your perspective on the left. And it's now become very clear to me, and I would say especially after Charlie Kirk's assassination, how this really works. And yeah, I've been honest about everything. I was number one person wearing a MAGA hat thinking that Trump was going to bring forth change, and I caught a lot of bullets. And I think that that's kind of been the biggest disappointment, is that he didn't, at the end of the day, we just got it wrong with him. Or I don't know if it's just this time around, if this is who he is after the assassination. I don't know.
Nope.
But I don't
It's who he's always
learning.
been.
I don't regret growing. And I can say without question, I've always been honest. So I never said something that I didn't believe. And sometimes with more information, you learn more. Learning about Sigmund Freud, I just ripped me into a new reality in terms of how the world really works. The Brigitte story ripped me into a new reality because I didn't care about the left and the right in that moment, because I was talking about France. I don't even know what is their left and their right. It was just, wow, this is really strange. This is like a cult. And why is the entire mainstream media apparatus conspiring to hide this very obvious fact? And it just brought me to a different place that kind of sat outside of politics, which I'm happy about. Thank you for that question. Mary Garcia writes, for many years, I have learned about spiritual warfare from Father Ripperger's books and conferences. What I learned is that demons militate to the absurdity. That's what I see happening with this whole Turning Point USA Eric situation. God bless you, Candace. I think you meant Turning Point USA Erica situation. Yeah, there's a lot to look at. I definitively think that people naturally felt the spiritual ick. There's an element of this that you don't even need to learn. You don't need to be a professor of theology. It's innate. And that's kind of gets into the intentional push, as we discussed yesterday, toward empiricism, rationality, scientific method, is because they're basically saying, ignore your gut, ignore that thing that comes online and tells you all of this is wrong. And we should stop doing that. We should stop ignoring our gut. There is so much more, and they know that there's so much more. They're playing with demons. Amy Loves Music writes, you have shown Erica's lineage. She is conditioned through her mother and the military. I'm excited about Trump, but over Kamala, who wouldn't be? Now, the Epstein files, I'm so disappointed in all of government. How do we fix it? God bless you for opening so many eyes. I think you meant that you were excited about Trump over Kamala. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have been better with Kamala. And I don't want people to think that it's an either or. It's just not.
It's not.
And Kamala actually reminds me a lot of Erica. When we got into the Kamala Chronicles, where I was like, I don't even think she remembers what she said yesterday. It's like she's on autopilot and somebody is just downloading new data into her. And they're like, this is your grandma. She's like, that's my grandma. And there's no explanation for the lack of consistency. So, and then we kind of learned that her mother was involved with potentially the MK Ultra project. Like her mother was a scientist. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember at this exact moment, but she was definitively working at a university. I think she was a scientist. I think that's accurate. And also a psychologist, and a lot of weird stuff there. And yeah, we're learning a lot in the process. Angela writes, your tenacity and charisma in the face of the constant barrage of attempts to subvert your power are unparalleled. Thank you for speaking the truth, no matter the risks, to pull back the wool from the eyes of the world and all the lies. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. He already won, so be excited. I mean, they are starting to look like demons. They're like lashing out, thrashing around like demons. They're so angry. And that's how I know we're winning. They're absurd. They're so crazy right now. They're like, this person's in a psychosis. Tucker must be stopped. They're just enraged at all times. And I feel that means we are very much winning. We should be happy. We should be aware that eyes are being awakened globally to what's going on. And truth is the antidote. They can't beat it. They can't defeat it. They're so used to lies. And that's why I encourage people not to just know the truth, but to speak the truth, because that seems to counteract their attempts at spells. They're constantly 6 feet, social distancing, 6 feet. And then, you really can just crash through. You can be a bull in a china shop and just say the truth. And you just see them completely come apart, and they want censorship. And that's what they're demanding now. Do I think they're going to grow increasingly violent? Yes, they have shown. Look, the whole point of kind of pledging into that cult is if you're willing to harm a child, you'll harm anybody, right? That's the point. When you learn what they believe in through the darkness to light, that's what they think. They're like, okay, well, you now have shown that there's no such thing as innocence and rules, and we are our own gods, and we define the rules. Again, that gets more into what we discuss on our book club. You should learn about Sabbatianism. You should learn about Frankism, learn about the Frankist movement that they've tried to bury, and everything else will become, I think, more clear to you. Anyway, I want to let you know, if you want to support our independent work, you can head to our website. We've such great new merch all over the website. We always show you the same section, but I swear there's more. There's stuff everywhere, really cool stuff, and it's the easiest way to support us. And also, like I say, pray for Tucker Carlson, pray for Megyn Kelly, pray for, Carrie Prejean Baller, people that are like me, absorbing a lot of these bullets, but like me, also happy warriors. I think that everyone is kind of saying enough is enough. This bullying has to stop, and we're not going to side with evil because they're threatening to take everything away from us. We can't do that. God's people, the truly chosen people, don't do that when demons come shrieking. Anyway, you guys,
we don't run.
You can also sign up for a subscription. We have merged the tiers into one Club Candace tier for $11.99 a month. And yeah, book club is great. It's a lot of fun, and we get to go a lot deeper. Oh, a note from my producer. Blake Neff responded and said they did not cut out the portion of him discussing Erica and her insinuation that Charlie would want to still be dead if he had the option because of the faith movement. And so he says that we fact checked that, and the full Charlie Kirk podcast episode still has Blake Neff's comments, but it is cut out on the Twitter stream, which is where we initially saw it. So they cut it out of the Twitter stream. It is still available on the Rumble site, just to make sure that we are always being accurate. We don't ever need to be inaccurate or make things up, because they give us plenty of content every day anyway with their absurdity. I do love when Blake Neff does decide to respond, by the way. We're saying a lot here. But I want you to know that they did not cut anything out of the Rumble stream. So there's that. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Hi, Candace. Well, there you have it. More and more and more. Trump has not changed his spots, but there is something weird in the manner in which policies began to change after he stopped tweeting the last weekend of August 2025. It was so odd. Interesting. Everything's odd. Everything's fake. Everything's off. It's all off. Anyways, I like what she said. And we don't run away from them. We run toward the light and try to expose it all the best we can. So thanks you guys for joining me here. I will most likely not be on tomorrow. I will be getting everything prepared and figuring out equipment. I've never used it outside of my studio, so we'll be traveling to Utah with all of my equipment, and hopefully everything goes smooth there and we can get you some good stuff and good. Hi, Odin. Nice to see you. Okay. So yeah, just be sure you have those notifications marked and you're subscribed, and we'll see you all Friday, Saturday, possibly Sunday, and we'll see you and talk more then. So thanks so much. Hey, if you have anything to say, email me, teresabetterlife@gmail.com. Be sure to ask your favorite content creators. What was I looking for? I got the name of Tyler Robinson's grandma. Oh, on Barron's, I really want to know the names of the police who are on that 911 call, on those calls that he has the recordings from. So if you guys can help out, if you go to Barron's and you're over there, you want to drop them a chat, let them know what's going on. And I would love to stop by and talk to some specific people at the police department. So anyways, thank you. Let us see. Did you see my email about monetary issues? I've got quite a few emails. I know I saw one or two things from you that I haven't gotten into read, but I will, and I will have plenty of time on the plane to do it too. So thanks again, guys, and I will see you later, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
This is a better life. From scars to stars, from pain to bulletproof, Teresa, better life. A better life with you. Talking news, pop culture life, love and scandal, heart to heart. Teresa, better life. Real is where the reset starts. No playing small. We rise, we fall. We laugh, we do it all. A better life is one brave call. Teresa, better life. Let's build a better life. Let's build a better life. A better life. Teresa, better life.